In this video, I am going to provide the solution to this sets question. As you will see that it involves algebra, the topic algebra, because we'll be looking at a number of algebraic expressions. But in the end, we are required to come up with numerical values for some of the parts. We're going to find value for x, we're going to find a value for y, and then the last question, we are going to calculate the number of tourists who visited France. You may not see the entire question during the solution part, so you may pause the video at any time to take note of the question. Okay? So here we go. Fold my paper. Our first part. We want to write down an expression for the number of tourists who visited Holland. Holland is represented by H. Good? So this will be my Holland. So this part and this part, they both make up H, which is Holland. Alright? So I'm going to put them together, combine those two pieces and add them. So we have y plus 4 and we have 26 minus y. Connect like terms. Y subtract y is 0. That will cancel itself. And 4 plus 26 is 30. So that's my part A. I've written the number of tourists who visited Holland. They said to us that there were 50 tourists interviewed in total. Now B is asking me to write down an expression in terms of x and y, and then I have to simplify same. Good? So let's go. So now we have to consider all three countries, okay? We have to consider France, represented by F, Germany, represented by G, and H for my Holland, okay? What I am going to do is to take each of these parts, add them together, and make it equal to 50. Because all together there were 50 tourists. Alright, so this is my calculation now. So France is x minus 3 and plus 2. Then I have 2y plus 5 plus my H. I had found that earlier. Holland was 30. Good. So I now combine like terms. There is only one x, so I rewrite x. The 2y minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1. Right? Plus 5 is 4, plus 30 is 34. I now connect what I know together. So I'm going to take 34 across the equal sign. I am going to keep x and I am going to keep 2y. So I will have 50 subtract 34. Alright? X plus 2y is equal to 50 minus 34 is 16. And if I want to write it, this expression I want to write it in terms of x. Therefore, I'm going to make x the subject. Let us make x the subject. So my equation in terms of x would be x is equal to 16 minus 2y. Now we do not have an exact value there, but we are going to come out with that value in some other part of the question. Let us continue to answer this question. The number of tourists who had only visited Holland was 6 more than the number of tourists who had only visited Germany. Write down an equation in terms of y and solve it. Let's go. So we're looking at Germany and Holland. That'll be 20 minus y to y plus 5. This is one of the ways. There is another way we could have done this part of the question. And now I connect like terms on the same side and I solve for y. I'm going to keep 20 and I'm going to bring across 5. I am going to keep 2y and I'll take across negative y. So we will have on this side 15 and 3 over here. Therefore, y is equal to 5. Good. I hope I didn't lose you. But if I lose you, I'm asking you to just go back to one of the previous steps and come forward. Write the steps down. Look at them carefully. Look at the Venn diagram that was given. Read the information given and read what they're asking you to do. So now that I know that y is 5, it will help me in the end. Good? Let us look at part D. Part D asks us to calculate the number of tourists who had visited France. Remember, we have France, Germany, and Holland. France is made up of x minus 3 and 2. X minus 3 and 2. But earlier, remember what we had for part B? We want to find the x value first. We need to know what this x is, because if we don't find a value for x, we will not be able to complete that question. So I am going to find my x value and it's going to help me. So what I'm going to do, I will write this equation. X minus 6. X is equal to 16 minus 2y. Then my answer to C, I found y. I am going to substitute a value for y. Good? So let's go. We'll write x minus 16. X is equal, my part D. X is equal to 16 minus 2y. Right? When y is equal to 5, x is equal to 16 minus 2 times 5. Therefore, so we can say tourists visited France. Yes, I know it's been a lot to comprehend, but I know you can do it. The first part asks us to write down the number of tourists that had visited Holland, and that is what we did in part E. Holland is represented by H. It is made up of y plus 4 and 26 minus y. Once we have simplified that expression, we got 30. Part B, write down an expression for x in terms of y as simply as possible. So that is what we did. We did that for the entire. We wrote our equation because they told us that 50 tourists were interviewed in total. And we simplify that equation as much as possible. Part C, they would have said to us about the 6 tourists more than who visited Germany, and they asked us to write down an equation in terms of y and solve it. And that is what we did. We wrote that equation and we solved. We found a value for y. So we can return to our part B. Now that we know what y is, we use that value for part B. And that was linked to part D, where they asked us to calculate the number of tourists who visited France. This is France. France has 2 parts, here and here. And that is what we did. We used the information from parts B and C. We had this equation in part B. And with C, we had y was equal to 5. So we substituted and we solved. So we can conclude that 5 tourists visited France. All right. Thank you.